When people first think about making a move, Michigan usually isn't at the top of people's lists until they actually visit there. Because between the Great Lakes, the cost of living, the four seasons, there's so many things that check so many people's boxes on what they're actually looking for. So in this video, I'm gonna address all the different things that make people choose Michigan as their place to live. And be sure to stay tuned until the end, because the last one I feel is the most important, and it's something that a lot of people in Michigan take a lot of pride in. So I'm gonna start getting into this list, but before I get into this list, my name's Troy Seifert. I'm a top producing real estate agent in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. I am the person who has the channel Lansing, Michigan Life, and we're the #1 real estate channel in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. So if this is your first time to my channel, be sure to scroll all the videos that I have about every single suburb, everything you want to know about moving to the greater Lansing, Michigan area. Also, I would appreciate it if you would like this video or subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. And if you're looking to move here in 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from now, I would love to be able to talk with you. So if you want to connect with me at any time, all my contact information, it's in the description below. My favorite thing is to be able to schedule a Zoom call with you. So my calendar link is right there in the information below. Schedule a time. I would love to be able to connect with you. I don't know if any of you who are watching this have ever seen the commercials that say Pure Michigan, and there's this nice piano music and they show this beautiful scenery. It's narrated by Tim Allen, who was the star of Home Improvement, in the Santa Claus, voice of Buzz Lightyear. So they did this huge campaign, I would say roughly about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And they played these commercials. And I used to think that was only in the state of Michigan until I stayed at a hotel and I looked on the screen, and sure enough, there it was right there in the hotel. In fact, it was on news channels. People were seeing it everywhere across the nation. So a lot of you might have seen one of those commercials, Pure Michigan. When you drive into Michigan and you cross that state line, the very first thing you usually see is a billboard that says Pure Michigan. That's what we're known for. So these reasons I feel make up the reason why people do end up moving to Michigan. The first reason why people move here, I feel, is because of the affordable cost of living. If this is your 20th time to my YouTube channel, you've heard this time and time again. To live in Michigan, just as a whole, is extremely affordable. In fact, in the entire state, because I've primarily taken care of Lansing, Michigan when I've done my stats, but in the entire state, the average home price is 40% less than the national average. So being able to move to Michigan will give you a much better house, larger home, maybe better location. So that is something that's a huge perk and why people move here. And the cost of living doesn't really necessarily go to housing. It can also be food costs. For instance, like when I look at the supermarket here and I see what a gallon of milk will get me at $2.50, I hear what my sister-in-law has to potentially pay in Pennsylvania, and it's a couple dollars more. Or gas prices might have a higher average throughout. Usually like we're right around the national average or maybe a little bit less than that. So we have a very affordable cost of living. The only thing that's not so affordable would have to be the auto insurance and the property taxes, but that's for another video. Number 2 reason why people are moving to Michigan is the Great Lakes, literally everywhere. The Great Lakes, the nation's largest freshwater coastline, it's amazing. And I used to be a beach person. I lived on the East Coast, so I was always used to the shore, salt water. That's all I knew, the ocean. And when you start swimming in the lake, the one thing that I really like is that you don't feel as dry when you get out of there. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I think the biggest rage right now are saltwater pools because they're easier to maintain. But even when I get out of a saltwater pool, I just feel more dry. And when I get into a freshwater lake, I don't have that same feeling. Now, the one thing is they can be cooler than the ocean just because we're a little bit further north, but just to be able to see that beauty. A lot of times I go to the lake and it feels like it's the ocean on the East Coast. You really can't notice much of a difference. The other thing that's good too is Jaws isn't gonna get you. You're not gonna get a shark attack by living at the Great Lakes. So that is a huge plus as well. Number 3 is the nature trails and outdoor adventures that are here in the state of Michigan. If you watch those Pure Michigan channels, they show all this beautiful scenery, the beautiful fall colors, going up north, which is the Upper Peninsula, and seeing some of the beautiful trails there. Now, we don't have mountains, so if you're from Colorado, if you're from the East Coast with some of those mountain chains, or even the Smoky, we don't have the Smoky Mountains, we don't have mountain chains, but we do have Great Lakes, we do have really nice parks. And the other thing I will tell you is we have rivers within a lot of our cities, especially in Lansing, where we're at. I grew up in a city that didn't have a river within its city. There was some smaller lakes, small sports lakes in northern Indiana, but I didn't realize like how special it was to be able to have a river where you could kayak, where you could fish, where you could have all these just different adventures. So Michigan everywhere has beautiful hiking trails, kayaking opportunities, some campgrounds, beautiful state parks. Again, a nature lover's paradise here. Even though you don't have the mountains, there's still plenty to be able to explore. Number 4, I would like to call this big cities without the big city price tag. Big cities without the big city price tag. Troy, what in the world are you talking about? So we have Grand Rapids, we have Detroit. Lansing could be considered one of them. Ann Arbor has a larger metro area, Flint, Traverse City up north. So we have some larger cities, but when I compare parking, for instance, in Detroit and Lansing and some of these areas, and I compare it to a city like Chicago or New York, like just recently I went to Chicago, it cost me $60 to park downtown, 60 bucks. I could not believe it. In Lansing, yes, you had to pay to park, but it really is not that much. So you have big cities, maybe not as large as Chicago, but you do have some bigger pockets that if you want to have that big city vibe and you want to have some of the museums and you want to have aquariums and you want to have zoos, we have those in Michigan. We definitely do, but you're not going to pay the price tag. Big cities also have toll roads. There are no toll roads in Michigan. That's pretty amazing, I feel. So that's what I mean by big cities without the big city price tag. Number 5 has to do with the solid job market and major employers that we have here in the state. We're primarily known in Michigan for the automotive industry, so we have the big 3 car companies that are based throughout here, but we also have insurance industries, we have healthcare industries, and I'll give a shout out to Ann Arbor because the University of Michigan, that is nationally known. It has a great healthcare system there in Ann Arbor. You have education, so you have big universities, you have technology as well. Lots of opportunities to bring people to the state, so that's also helping people make a move to the greater Lansing, Michigan area. Number 6, and I brought this up time and time again, but I like to review this one with everyone. In Michigan, we have 4 distinct seasons. 4, I had to make sure I didn't put up 3. 4, I know how to count. 4 distinct seasons, fall, winter, spring, summer, but you can actually see them here. And right now we're in the midst of fall. I love being able to feel those chilly fall temperatures. I love being able to see the leaves change. During the winter time, yes, snow, people hate it. Well, some people love it or hate it. My wife absolutely loves snow. Call her crazy, but you have winter time to be able to see the snow, spring, summer, and even in the summertime, you can go outdoors and it's not incredibly hot. So you have a summertime that you can actually enjoy for a majority of the season. So people love going to Michigan because they get to experience all 4 of those seasons. So if you are that person that hates wintertime and the cold, it's really only unbearable for about 2 or 3 months, if I'm being honest. So hopefully you can outlast that and then be able to enjoy the rest of the seasons here. Number 7 reason why people move to Michigan, unique cities to explore. So I know I talked about some of the major cities, but I want to talk just about some unique things throughout the state that you can definitely explore. So Frankenmuth, Michigan has the world's largest Christmas store. So you can spend all day just at a Christmas town. They also have a nice little German village. It reminds me a little bit of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a smaller version. You don't have the mountains there, but it does have that Germantown vibe in there. Have some well-known chicken dinners that people can go to as well. Some indoor water parks. Traverse City, which is up north, is known for cherries. And if you want to know a fun fact about Traverse City, it has the world's largest cherry pie pan. Okay, so if that doesn't make you move to Michigan, the world's largest cherry pie pan. Also, you can explore up north on the other side, the Mackinac Bridge, which is in Mackinac City. And the Mackinac Bridge, believe it or not, it is the nation's largest suspension bridge. I think everybody thinks it's Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco because you see it all the time on TV, people advertise it, but Mackinac Bridge actually is the nation's largest suspension bridge. And that's found in Mackinac City. It connects the Lower Peninsula to the Upper Peninsula. And also right near Mackinac City is Mackinac Island, where there are no automobiles whatsoever. It just makes you feel like you went back in time. I don't know if you've seen the movie Somewhere in Time. I never have. But if you have, I'm glad that you've seen it. I've heard mixed reviews on Somewhere in Time, but that movie was based on Mackinac Island at the Grand Hotel. Speaking of the Grand Hotel, if you visit the Grand Hotel, that has the world's largest front porch. Interesting fact as well. And I do have to make a shout out to Lansing, which is, again, where I'm based, where I'm a realtor. And Lansing even has a world's largest something. I'm not gonna tell you to fill in the blank and put it in the comments because I think all of you would put in different things, all right? I'm not gonna do that. But did you know that Lansing has the world's largest lug nut? I had no idea. It's right there in the downtown. There's a smokestack and there's like a 5,000 pound lug nut right at the top of that smokestack, right in the downtown area. If you haven't seen it, drive by it, you can explore. All right, number 8. Number 8 has to do with the education in universities throughout the state. Primarily, I'm gonna get into having 2 Big Ten universities, Michigan State and the University of Michigan. Just being able to have those present creates a wonderful vibe of camaraderie because people have pride in the different sports that are around. Brings a lot of jobs to the area. Brings a lot of, obviously, education for students. Brings a lot of international students from all across the world to come and research and do their studies here in the state of Michigan. I feel that that's pretty cool. So number 9 is a central location for travel. And what do I mean by that? So Michigan, it is further north, but it's in the Midwest. And so it's a nice central location to being able to be close to Illinois if you're on the west side of the state and being close to Chicago. If you're in the east side of the state, you have Detroit Metro Airport, very, very convenient. But you can also fly out of Cleveland. If you're towards the southern part of Michigan, you have Indianapolis in Indiana. So you have all these options for major travel and airport. Michigan can be just a wonderful, great home base. I know so many people that just even come up for the weekend from Indiana. I don't want to slam Indiana because I lived there for 8 years. So if you're watching this and you're from Indiana, please don't hate me. But really in northern Indiana, I love Fort Wayne. So Fort Wayne's an awesome place, but that would be a place that if I compare it to Lansing, it really doesn't have that much stuff to do. It's very flat. I feel it's a lot flatter than Michigan. So the fact that where we're at in Michigan, that people come up and go to our beaches and go to our beach towns. It's just really interesting for me to hear that hey, like I used to do that growing up in Indiana. I went up to Michigan. I didn't realize I was gonna be able to live there. That's just a little side note, but I want you to see that like for travel, for wherever you're wanting to go, it can be a great central place and can help people economically travel because you have these major airports near you. And coming in at number 10, has to do most importantly with the genuine people and Midwest hospitality. I tell you, Michigan people, I've lived out east, I have lived a little bit in the south as well. And when I compare Midwest culture, there's nothing like it. I love being able to live in the Midwest, I really do. It's not a slam to where I grew up because I'm very appreciative of that, but I really do like the Midwest culture and especially the people in Michigan. I don't want you to just take my word for it. I've had some clients that have actually reached out to me through this channel who made a move here. One of them came from out west. The other one came from the heartland of the United States. And the one that was out west, we met together, said, hey, how are things going for you? And they said, man, people here are just so friendly. Like where we lived, nobody would say hi. People out in Michigan, like they look at you and they say hi. I mean, I would think to myself, like, that's just common courtesy, but I know that's not the case across the nation. Maybe you're watching this and you're from one of those areas, so comment below if you've had that same experience from where you're living. I would love to be able to hear about it. But then the other person too, like, you know, I thought, well, that's just one person. So then the other person as well, you know, that just made a move here this year, said, hey, how are things going? I said, good, you know, I went to your grocery store, Trader Joe's, and we're walking around and all of a sudden people just start talking to us and telling us their life story. Now, I don't want you guys to stereotype people in Michigan that you're gonna come here and everyone's just gonna come up to you and just tell you everything about them. That's not the case. They just were taken aback because they were just going, wow, like people here, they're not afraid to socialize, they're warm, they're welcoming. Maybe it might be a little bit too much information for where you're at, 100%. The hospitality, the genuineness of Michigan people can't be beat. So that's why I wanted to end with that one. I appreciate you watching this. And again, if you are looking to potentially make a move here, reach out to me anytime. All my contact information, it's in the description below. And if you haven't already, like this video if you like the content and subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified when new episodes of Lansing, Michigan Life go live. That's it, folks. So hopefully I see you at some point making a move to Michigan. If you have any questions, again, reach out. And until next time, make it a great day. Take care.